investigation is underway after Austin police found 3 people dead in a home. APD says officers responded to Cedric Cove around 11 last night. Now that's in South Austin off Slaughter Lane. According to APD, foul play is not suspected and the deaths are not being investigated as homicides. Police say the Travis County Medical's Examiner's Office will work to determine the official cause of death.
The man accused of killing 3 people outside of a North Austin Target store and carjacking 2 vehicles is now facing 5 new charges. 32-year-old Ethan Neinecker is accused of randomly shooting and killing 2 adults and a 4-year-old in a parking lot attack last week. He was initially charged with 1 count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of capital murder. But according to the Travis County Court's records, he now faces 8 total charges, including aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, robbery, aggravated robbery, and attempted murder.
Okay, so imagine on your next flight looking out the window and seeing this, a flap of the wing hanging on by a thread, and you're thousands of feet in the air. This is a Delta flight from Orlando to Austin Tuesday. Fortunately, that plane landed without any issue. Delta said it took the plane out of service for maintenance. The airline in a statement saying, quote, "We apologize to our customers for their experience as nothing is more important than the safety of our people and our customers." We started looking into this story thanks to a viewer who sent us that video. You can always send us tips by going to report it at KXAN.com.
The Texas legislature is considering a bill to ultimately impact how you are taxed. Senate Bill 10 would reduce how high a city can raise taxes before sending the proposal to voters for approval. But city leaders in Georgetown say this could come at a cost, like funding emergency services. KXAN's Kevin Bosker dives into the concerns.
Lawmakers want to change how cities go about getting more money from you to pay for services that you need. The voter approval tax rate multiplier is a key component in that process. It determines if a city or county needs to seek voter approval for certain property tax increases. Currently, that rate stands at 3.5% for all local municipalities. Senate Bill 10 would reduce that rate to 2.5% for local municipalities with populations over 75,000.
Moving it from 3.5% to 2.5%, it would save the average resident in Georgetown 44 cents a month. It would impact the city of Georgetown by several $100,000 a year.
Georgetown City Manager David Morgan says reducing the rate could result in the city to go to voters for basic needs, like hiring first responders.
Just know that it costs about $100,000 for us to have an election. And so that's a police officer, that's a firefighter.
No one likes taxes, and no one likes to have to call 911, but both of them are necessary.
Georgetown Fire Chief John Sullivan says the city's population growth has already put a strain on the department. He worries lowering the rate will only make things worse.
We have a 3-person staffing model on our fire engines. I don't have the latitude to drop that down any further. To do so would put my firefighters at risk. To be limited to 2.5% would mean that almost every single year we would have to go back to the voters and ask for help, because equipment is more expensive, inflation continues to be high.
On the state floor on Tuesday, Republican State Senator Paul Bettencourt from Houston said that indigent defense and support services are exempt in the bill, like certain health care. There is not an exemption for fire, police, and general emergency services. Senator Bettencourt went on to say that the legislature has already helped fund first responders in Texas through other means.
I also want to point out that this year, for the first time, we put $90 million into rural ambulances, $331 million into the sheriff's departments.
If funding is restricted at 2.5%, I apologize in advance if I'm not able to meet your expectations, but we will do our best.
Kevin Bosker, KXAN News.
And Senate Bill 10 passed through the Senate yesterday. On the House side, it's been referred to committee.
Liberty Hill ISD leaders are going to talk about their plans to put a tax ratification election, or TRE, up for voters. They want to do it in November. So they want you to be the one to approve a tax plan, and they hope if you do that it will raise the $11 million in revenue for student programming, safety, security, and teacher staff retention. The district says it needs that money after cutting millions from its budget over the last year.
Yeah, the district also getting creative with a way to give teachers a break so that they can plan their day while not breaking their bank accounts. KXAN's Barrett Tryon here to explain how that's all going to play out. Good morning, Barrett.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, we caught up with the interim superintendent of schools there. He admits that having a 4-day school week for part of the year is a risk, but it's one that he's hoping will pay off big.
definitely have an innovative calendar going into next school year. This past year, we had to cut $6.3 million from our budget, roughly 70 positions, and taking all these support positions away from our classroom teachers really felt like we needed to give them time back in order to really be best prepared for the students. And so ultimately, we decided to go with this innovative calendar to try to give our teachers more time to be prepared for the students during the week. The first set of those days start in the middle of September, and then they go all the way through the Thanksgiving break. So definitely curious, what the feedback's going to be from our community. I know from our staff so far with our staff planning, they're very excited about the time. They're really looking forward to it, especially knowing that some of the support they used to have is no longer there due to the budget cuts.
Let's talk about growth. Liberty Hill is just exploding right now. How do you guys keep up with that? What other innovative things are you doing here in the district?
We grow at roughly about 1,000 kids per year, which I tell everybody is about a school per year. If a school holds between 800 and 1,200 kids, right? It's about 1,000 kids, or one school per year. What we try to do is stay ahead of it as best we can with demographic reports that we get every quarter. And then we have constant meetings with real estate developers, county officials, city officials, just understanding what's happening with infrastructure, what's happening with commercial development, residential development, and obviously water is a big thing, and paying attention to what water is available, kind of helping us understand where's the next set of houses going to go, how many are there going to be, so that way we can have schools ready for those kids when they come.
Yeah, a lot going on there. The school board right now actually is in the process of interviewing candidates for superintendent. Travis said he's definitely interested in that position. He joked with me, this is the world's longest job interview. By the way, the board expected to make its decision on that position coming in January.
Echoes of extinct animals roaming the planet once more. One Texas-based company is trying to make science fiction a reality. Now they're expanding overseas in hopes of saving a threatened ecosystem.
KXAN's senior science reporter Eric Henriksen takes a closer look at their plans and the ethical debate around the technology.
With plans to bring back the woolly mammoth and the Tasmanian tiger, Texas's Colossal Biosciences is now officially expanding overseas.
Australia actually has the highest rate of mammal extinctions of any country in the world.
The company's new chief biology officer, Andrew Pask, will help lead de-extinction efforts in Australia, some of which will focus on the northern quoll.
This little marsupial species that is going to go extinct in the next 10 years. And that's because it eats an invasive pest species.
That species, the cane toad, is poisonous to the quoll.
It's just one single gene in their genome that we can edit that would save that species in Australia from extinction.
De-extinction technology involves editing the genes of living creatures.
When you create something like a dire wolf, what you're creating is something that looks like one, but isn't actually one.
Philosopher Jay Odenbaugh's work explores the ethics of de-extinction.
In the process of using cloning and genetic engineering, animals can suffer.
Odenbaugh says that Australia's history is rife with humans altering nature.
There's something inauthentic in what's happening. That's one of the major worries I think a lot of ethicists have.
But Pask says it's because of this that de-extinction tech is needed.
Morally and ethically, we're obliged that we just have to do this now. This is the only solution we have to building really resilient ecosystems that will be able to thrive again and hopefully stabilize our planet once more.
Eric Henriksen, KXAN News.
And you've heard how Colossal Biosciences is trying to revive a version of the woolly mammoth. Well, the company, which has offices in Austin and Dallas, says it's now grown mammoth stem cells, and the team plans to eventually turn those into embryos, which will then be carried to term by an African or Asian elephant. Going in depth, the co-founders of Colossal Biosciences are raising money to open up a new biology-focused AI startup company. The new company will be called Astromech AI Corporation. There are not a lot of details known about it just yet, but according to Astromech's website, the company will, quote, push the frontier of AI, biology, and evolution. So far, Colossal Biosciences co-founders have raised $30 million for the new company. That's according to the Austin Business Journal.